Hi.
Hi again, and welcome to the Higgins Keto Blog, Day 7. Hey,
He thinks he's in radio.
Here's the thing.
We'll call him radio.
Okay, really? Okay. Sometimes I feel like him. All right. Here's the deal. The reason why I am so up and I'm so giddy at this point in time right now, because I have hit the energy phase. It happened this morning. I woke up. I have had full energy all day long. And I've absolutely loving the energy. She has not reached that stage yet. The unfairness of being male, I am assuming that she's going to blame that on. Just like people always say that men always lose weight faster than women. Listen, I can't make it up. I'm just saying this is what happened to me today. So
and I get the full benefit.
Yes,
of
yes,
all
she
that
does.
energy.
Yes, she does. And anyway, yes, she has her list, our notes, and so I'm looking at those. That's why you see me look down like this. We're using the food scale. I use those today. The hamburgers that we make are 3.5 ounces. Exactly. Well, I'm sitting here trying to figure all this stuff out, and she happened to have a food scale. So I went to the store and bought a battery for this food scale so that it would actually work. And I had ordered on Amazon a hamburger patty maker. So I literally weighed out 3.5 ounces, put it in there, boom, and I literally pattied all the hamburger we had. We did get some grass-fed hamburger, which I haven't used. I haven't done those yet because that's to thaw. But I pattied up all the hamburger that we had, put them in meal-sized packages, and threw them in the freezer, except the one we used for tonight's dinner.
Well, that's what he had. That's not what I ate.
Yes, I know.
I had a portobello mushroom that stuffed with roast beef and a slice of provolone cheese.
And I will tell you this right now, it looked darn good.
It was tasty.
I will say that when I looked at it, I'm sitting here going, is that what you're eating for lunch tomorrow too? And she goes, yes. And I said, can that work in the microwave? She said, yes. And I said, when people see you making that, they're going to be going, dang, that's how you eat every single day? That's good. Because literally it looks like we're sitting here putting food in front of ourselves that you'd get in a 5-star restaurant, and it's keto. So,
what can we say?
But using the food scale is very important. Mm-hmm. And the reason why is because on a lot of the stuff we've been doing, we've been guessing to the sizes based on what the package is telling us.
Right.
We've already talked about before with some of the dietary stuff on the packaging that it sometimes can be false. Well, the weights aren't always exact either, which I discovered very early on, which is the reason I wanted to get the battery for the scale.
So that we were measuring accurately.
Right.
And that we were getting the amount of food portions that
we were supposed to be getting.
Should be getting.
Right.
So.
We also tried the B vitamin today.
When it comes to me taking vitamins, I am such the oddball. I literally had visual disturbances. Really? I had the halo effect where everything had a rainbow halo around it.
Right. Whereas the only thing I did was I urinated out anything that my body didn't use. So here's the plan. Tomorrow we're going to break the one vitamin, it's just a B complex. I think we said that yesterday.
With vitamin C.
Right, with vitamin C in it. We're going to break that in half and each take half.
But I need to take mine very early in the morning.
Right.
Because literally trying to walk around, driving was quite interesting because everything had this rainbow halo around it. So right. I need to take it very early in the morning.
When you start seeing, unicorns and things, that's when I'll worry. How do we know that B vitamins aren't a drug for her? You know what I'm saying? Anyway, using the food scale, very important. Make sure you're getting the right amount of food. If you don't have one, they're pretty cheap. She happened to already have one. We just had to buy a battery.
And I bought it from Walmart. That is my store of choice. And I want to say I paid less than $20 for it. So it was very cheap. Right.
And I mean, and for as much as we used it, because as soon as I started using it for the burger stand, I'm like, I'm going to be using this for everything to make sure our portions are correct.
Right.
Okay. Tomorrow, we will be upping the exercise activity.
Yes, so I will return to my getting up at the butt crack of dawn and exercising.
Yeah, 5 a.m. is what the alarm will be set for. Okay.
Well, I used to get up at 4:30 to exercise.
Trust me, I understand. I was there too.
Yes. So I'm going to get back into that routine, and it kind of goes, the whole aspect again, accountability.
Right.
So previously I would post constantly alerting everyone that I was exercising, and really it wasn't because I was tooting my own horn. That was my way of maintaining accountability. If I'm putting it out there that this is what I am going to do, then when people weren't seeing my post and they were commenting,
they would say something.
That was a reality check for me that, hey, I need to get back into doing what I've always done before.
Right. I'm going to try to start taking it light, and I'm going to start doing a 2-mile walk run tomorrow, which I just happened to measure it from our house to the end of the entrance to our housing community and back is 2 miles. So that works out perfect. So we'll be upping our exercise tomorrow, and we'll be letting you know how we feel after that.
The only concern that I have in doing that is because I still tend to struggle to finish all of my food.
Well, but I'm actually kind of thinking that with you doing the exercise, your body will need the extra nutrients, and it might actually make you more hungry.
Oh, I'm hoping that that's the case, because right now it truly is a struggle for me to finish eating. I would prefer to just drink coffee and not have to worry about eating. Which honestly, this is why I had such a hard time getting away from carbs prior to starting this. It was easier for me to eat a single serving of Doritos, and I was fine. I was fine in terms of not needing to eat a meal until after all that sugar wore off, and then I was hungry again. So then that prompted a donut, for example, because then I was tired, and I thought, oh, a little bit of sugar, and it went down so much easier than a piece of meat or vegetables. So I know that's, and I think honestly that's probably why I have not had the issues in terms of the cravings, because it wasn't that I truly wanted the sugar. It was just a quick fix. It was a quick fix. It was easier for me to eat it versus chewing and having to digest the vegetables or the meat.
Right.
Whereas now I'm being forced to do that, and literally I cringe when it's time to eat.
She literally, I mean, I'm talking, I look across the table and she looks down her food and goes,
it's bad. It is really, really bad. And please don't sit there and say, oh, I wish that were to be me. No,
you don't.
You really don't.
Because it's a pain in the butt. It really is.
It is a pain.
All right. So, now that takes us to the next thing. Making sure you eat all of the food, whether you want to or not. Remember, these macros are based on the needs of the body, the minimum needs of the body. And we had this discussion earlier today because we were talking about her eating habits and the fact that she didn't want to eat the meat. And I said, well, that means you have to replace it with fat, and that would be way too many fats. And she goes, why would I have to do that? And I'm sitting here going, you're already short on calories.
I know.
And you can't add carbs.
I know this, but aside, literally, it's almost as if I totally forget that I am a nurse.
What do you mean, forget it? That's more than obvious, because all nurses act like you.
Whatever. Whatever. Anyways, The point that we are trying to make is this. It's very important that we eat precisely what it is that we indicate that we are going to eat. So it kind of goes into two things here. One, this is why, as a result, we definitely will be trying one new recipe a week, because very quickly, if you have no stomach in terms of, well, a desire, hence why I said no stomach, a desire to eat what it is that you have before you, then you're automatically going to grow bored very quickly of the old standbys.
And literally, the first week we ate the same 3 or 4 meals.
And we have.
Over and over.
This whole week, that's precisely what we did, which is what led to this discovery of we really need to find new recipes to try.
Yes, big time.
As a result. And the meal planning piece, I mean, I hate to say that meal planning is what you definitely need to do. And if you hear the kids, they're running around.
Hold on, let me yell at them.
Okay, he's going to yell at the kids.
Shush! The good shush does it every time. I got it, I'm sorry.
Right. The meal planning. You will hear constantly that the only way to be successful is to plan your meals and to meal prep. Now, to some, that may mean putting your food in the containers and putting them in the fridge / the freezer.
Right.
And I've done that before, but the problem is, for me especially, because I'm an oddball, it totally grosses me out. I won't eat it. I won't eat it. And I'm the queen of leftovers.
Right.
But I will not eat a food that has been prepped. It's a mindset with me. I know I'm not the only one that's out there. So for our family, meal prep literally means setting the menu so that we know the day before what it is that we are going to eat.
Right. And all I do is I cook it fresh every day.
Right. Which is more palatable for me in that aspect.
Because knowing it's coming is one thing. Knowing it's been cooked and been sitting there for 2 or 3 days is completely
I can't do that.
I don't like that. I don't see how people do that. Because that
hats off to those that can, though.
If you can, great.
Yes.
Not me.
Yeah,
not this boy.
Right.
All right. So that's meal planning, okay, and making sure you eat everything that you're supposed to eat, okay. The meal planning part goes a little bit further than that, though, because that also means you have to plan your grocery shopping.
That's probably the biggest piece. In all honesty, that is really
if you're like we used to be, which used to be was 2 weeks ago,
right?
So this is not something we've been doing for a while. The used to be is 2 weeks ago, where literally you go and buy for a couple of days, and then you go to the store again, and then you go. We were going to Walmart or Costco or
now Sam's.
Publix.
Costco is all the way in Orlando.
Right.
Now
So
for us.
yeah, we have Sam's Club now, but literally every couple days we were going to the store.
Mm-hmm.
You can't do that.
Mm-mm.
So it's like you have to plan your grocery shopping in advance so that you know you're buying for this. That means your meals have to be prepped in advance. That way you know what to buy in order to make those meals.
Right. And if you are trialing a new recipe, then you really need to make sure that you are planning.
Right.
Because you have to look at the ingredients, ensure that they are ingredients that you, A, can tolerate, B, truly can have, and how that works out for, your meals.
Right.
We've come across quite the number of recipes that can be cooked in the crock pot.
Yes, and I'm planning on starting to try those over the next week because we have several foods. Excuse me. We have several foods that I could transfer over and translate into a crock pot meal versus me spending a couple hours in front of the stove.
Right. And I know for me, especially, working outside of the home, whereas my husband has the luxury to work here at home when he's not traveling.
Right.
When he does travel, then I definitely need those type of recipes, something that I can get up in the morning, put into the crock pot so that by the time I get home with the kids, it's ready.
Yeah.
So hence why we are trying those types of recipes.
And I'm also going to have to start taking into consideration and doing some, because I do travel, the only place I can eat is restaurants. So I'm going to have to start doing and coming up with a serious collection of menus of things that I can eat at restaurants that are keto at all these different restaurants. Because, well, I mean, I've been all over the place, and there have been certain places I go to where there's not a single restaurant I know in existence there other than fast food. So even when I get there, I'm going to have to go, okay, can I do? I'm going to have to pull their menu down offline or whatever, and say, okay, what can I eat here?
Right.
So yeah, those are struggles that, listen, we're going through them, and I know you guys out there, some of you guys travel or are constantly running, or you don't. I mean, you spend less time at home with your family than you do at work with your coworkers. We understand that. So these are definitely things that we need to think of ahead of time to make sure that they don't become stopping points in your journey getting towards your goal, because it's all about the goal.
Right.
Okay. We did find keto bread recipes, which we told you before, and tomorrow.
Because we didn't do it today.
Right.
Today was a snuggle day.
Yeah.
I really wanted to snuggle with my husband,
right. So yeah,
he didn't make the keto bread.
And I did not argue with that at all, because having her next to me and snuggling is kind of nice.
We like that.
Yes. So I'm going to be making the keto bread tomorrow, and I'm also going to try. How many people know about Red Lobster's Cheddar Bay biscuits? Oh yeah. I'm going to be trying to make keto Cheddar Bay biscuits using the almond flour, and the recipe from there, which I even found a keto cinnamon roll recipe.
So to let you in, because my husband is such a foodie.
Oh yeah.
And this is a lifestyle that we definitely want to continue.
Exactly.
But at the same time, I mean, the poor thing, I think he wanted to lick the garlic knots that the younger two were eating at dinner today. So it will be our goal to work on foods that we typically have eaten in the past.
Just making them keto friendly.
Absolutely. So that is definitely something that we are going to experiment with.
Absolutely.
And share with everyone as we do that. There are quite the number of paleo, gluten-free recipes that very easily can be changed into keto friendly.
Right. And what I'm going to try to do, because I do love to cook, had I not gone into what I do, I probably would have become a chef.
I would have gone into catering, because I love baking.
Right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mess around with the recipes and see what works. That way I can make a recipe book for us that we can actually use, that's going to be keto, and yet give us the flavors and the textures and the things like that we're used to getting when we were just eating carbs.
Right.
And see, we'll see how it works. Obviously we need to take the numbers into consideration there, because when you eat these, you can't eat a ton of it.
Which kind of brings something else up too, because again, when my husband yesterday was talking about the way that we tend to count carbs as being, purist, so to speak, whereas the keto diet is concerned, that is definitely something that we will have to take into consideration when we are sharing the recipes with everyone, because not everyone will prescribe to the way that we tend to count carbs.
So what I will tell you, if we do share recipes with you, what I will tell you is I will tell you net and total.
Right.
That way
that
you
can decide.
Right. You can make that decision for yourself. And we're even thinking about putting these together into a book later on. But obviously, we have a lot more to do before then.
A lot of research.
So
that's, a ways away.
That way, somebody can go, I don't want to do the hard stuff. I'm here.
Like, what's the other for you? And because, research is our passion,
Right.
and, we both like to write, so who knows where this will take us by the time our journey is done and over with. And those that are following along, you can say, I remember when they fumbled along in their blog videos or their video blogs.
You know what? The fumbling will probably make it into there somewhere because we fumbled a lot. So, but, tomorrow what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to film myself making the keto bread. That way I can add that to this. And along with that, tomorrow we've already decided what we're going to talk about, and we're actually going to talk about the relationship between me and her going through this together. So if that's something that interests you, make sure you grab a hold of us tomorrow on the day 8 version, and you'll get to see some of that. So
right, and the main reason being as to why, not because we think that people are going to be interested in our relationship, nothing like that. It's the whole speaking point of having an accountability partner.
Right.
So when you have an accountability partner that it's someone that you're sharing your life with, it makes it a little more worthwhile. And it helps you to achieve your goals. When you have somebody working with you, rather than having somebody work against you, it makes a big difference.
Yes, it does.
And that is what we are going to talk about.
We're not saying you can't do it alone,
mm-hmm.
Because a lot of people have that wherewithal where they can, they set their mind to something, they can just do it. For us, it's just been really nice having somebody else right there going through it with you.
Right.
Where we can literally bounce things off each other when she's not feeling good, or mm-hmm. she can tell me what's going on, I can tell her what's going on, and we can literally sit there and go, okay, and since we both know what we're doing, we can go, okay, what is it that we're doing here? What did we get today? What is this? What is this? What is this? And we can literally talk ourselves through that to maybe even figure out, okay, is there something we might be doing that's we could be doing better?
And then keep in mind, too, that this transcends, having somebody in the household. This could even correlate to having that Facebook buddy that is in, 5 states away or on another continent, for example. The important piece as to what we will talk about tomorrow will be the whole accountability partner.
Right.
That's essentially what it is.
All right. So bread and accountability tomorrow.
Right.
So you
breaking bread with your partner.
You have a great night, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.
All right. Night.
Night.